We are people of the Inlet, and we are children of Takaya. The first Tsleil-Waututh person was born of the wolf.
When you're out on the Inlet, to me, that's my strongest connection to our ancestors. Our origin story actually comes from the water. That's where our mother came from.
This is where my ancestors walked. This is what my ancestors fought for. Without that fight, I would not be here today. The work that we do today is to secure the future generations.
The territory would be the Metro Vancouver area, the Lower Mainland. That's around Vancouver and North Vancouver. We have our core territory that is around our reserve, and then we have other areas up Indian Arm and the Indian River that we hold really close to our hearts as really culturally significant places. We've been here since time immemorial. We were nomads. We traveled all along the coast of Burrard Inlet, Indian Arm, and Port Moody Arm.
If you look at this area and how beautiful and rich it is, I want you to see for yourself why we take pride on our lands and our waters.
Culture grounds us. It enriches us. Pre-contact, we were very abundant and rich in culture. The Indian River watershed is where our ancestors said that when the tide went out, the table was set. As a young girl, I experienced a little taste of that.
We had our first contact in the 1700s, but by around the 1800s, a lot of industry started coming into the inlet. We did see a lot of displacement of our resources as well as our people. We were placed on reserves. Because we had lost so much of our population through contact, through things like the smallpox epidemic, we were only given a reserve that was 1 square kilometer, which is still kind of the size of the reserve that we live on today.
And because of the residential school, they were taught they're bad, they're useless. Those learned behaviors were passed on to kids. So that was normalized for the longest time. So right now, we want to make sure our kids can thrive in this environment.
When I was a young girl, my father shared teachings with me. I had the honor and the privilege to harvest crab and oysters and clams and mussels. Quite often we would spend our days down on the beach. We would set up a fire and we would cook what we harvested out of Burrard Inlet. Today we can't do that because it's too polluted.
So every year we are looking at the different plans that we have put together, such as the Burrard Inlet Action Plan, the Climate Change Sustainability Plan, as well as the Indian River Watershed Integrated Stewardship Plan. These plans really guide the restoration work that we do. We really open the door to anyone that does want to partner with us. We work with all levels of government, but then we also really look to nonprofits as well as academia to get boots on the ground and get the actions and the plans and really deliver on them so that our nation can start seeing these results. It is really joyous to kind of see these changes come alive in the watershed, and we are trying to, balance being able to access this beautiful place as well as, maintaining a safe and healthy home for the species that we've brought back.
There are whales that are returning to the inlet that have not been there for decades. There have been wolves that have returned. That's a blessing to Tsleil-Waututh.
I think the wolves coming back is reflecting us as Tsleil-Waututh Nation people. We too are coming back.
Revitalizing our culture is important, and that's what makes us rich as Tsleil-Waututh people. Without that culture, it's difficult to think of where we would be today. So today we're working really hard on bridging those gaps between our elders and our youth. That is a priority of Tsleil-Waututh.
A lot of my elders come down and just talk to us while we're on the beach and talk so lovingly about the territory and how they grew up on our shores.
And it's equally as important for our elders to have those connections because it adds to the quality of their life.
My great-grandpa is Chieftain George. He spoke at the Canada's 100th birthday and gave the centennial speech. And so he was a really big warrior for our people, instilling in my grandparents as well as my mom that we should be proud in our culture. We should be proud singing our songs, dancing, doing our practices, and passing that down to the next generation.
Now, through reconciliation, our women's group have brought back making drums. We have a land-based learning school, which our kids are learning our songs and our dances.
The artwork that a lot of our youth do today is as a result of teachings that have been passed down by elders. The drumming, the singing, the harvesting.
I'm really thankful that my great-grandpa and the people before them held so strongly onto our culture to pass it down, despite both my grandparents going to residential school.
The next 50 to 100 years, for the generations that will be here, I would love to see them being able to live the way our ancestors did, harvesting from the inlet, and to be able to hunt when they need to. And we're here to share our teachings with our neighbors in hopes that they can be as rich as we are when it comes to our culture. I would like to see Tsleil-Waututh people and our neighbors once again living off the land. It's the hope of leadership and community today that we can return to what our ancestors fought for.